As he loves to do, Jared calls into the show here on the Blathering Live, and we talk Game of Thrones, and I clip it out, put it over on Casterly Talk. Hey, everybody on Casterly Talk. Big trailer for Night of the Seven Kingdoms out, and the show will be showing up in January, so hey, we'll be diving into that at the right time. But Jared, we have come to the end of Season 6, Episode 10. Oh my God, it is probably what many consider the best finale of a season in the show's run. I kind of agree with that. There's some other great moments along the way before this that I really, really, really love. But this episode begins with, as our friend in chat, Dr. Addie says, the best 15 minutes in the show. It's an art piece. I agree with her full-hearted on that one there. Let's get into it. What do you want to touch upon?
Yep. No, we got it. Winds of Winter, baby. It's time. The dream team back. David, Dan, Dave, and Miguel. The boys will be boys. That's a bad saying. I shouldn't have done that one, but we move on. We move on. Life to tape, folks. Life to tape.
Well, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
We love it. But yeah, no, it's a packed episode too. It's in the rewatch. It's remembered for those 15 minutes, but like we've discussed on a lot of other episodes, so much meat on that bone in this episode. Nice long 68-minute episode.
Right.
And they use every minute to their advantage. But I would say, yeah, let's just dive into those first 15 minutes where Cersei, my girl, getting suited for battle.
Suited indeed. Rewatched this opening sequence today, and what was fun about it is, it's the beginning of the episode, and you're already keyed up for a big finale, and something big's going to happen, and I felt we didn't have the typical episode 9, which we had big things in episode 9, but usually episode 9s are the big, this happened and we're going to deal with it and set up the next season in episode 10. And while we certainly did that, this was its own thing. And I think that was surprising. And Jared, I went back to sitting down to watch it for the first time live, because back then I think we were still watching it at 6 p.m. in the Pacific hour. It was like we all gathered around and the previously on happens.
Yep.
And this I was rewatching this morning, and I just was like, I transported myself back to, oh my God, we didn't even know what was about to happen. Like we were all just like, oh, previously on, yeah, okay, cool. Let me have that drink. Give me the popcorn. And then immediately you're taken into this absolute, I would call it an art piece, but just the culmination of everything that this season had. But also, I think this moment changes Game of Thrones for the final 2 seasons, which some people might take as a negative. I just think that's where we're at. Game of Thrones to me is seasons 1, 2, and 3. It's 4, 5, and 6, and 7 and 8. These kind of eras of the show. And this just clears the decks. And it was sad to see some of the people go. Later on, learning that Natalie Dormer had kind of wanted out of the show, and this is kind of was, all right, give us one more season. We'll send you out in the right way. There's the realities of TV making. But every frame builds towards that big explosion. Every frame, especially the more you know it on rewatch, this is why I think it stands the test of time. Along with the Red Wedding, I think the Red Wedding is the thing that compares, to it. I love Hard Home. I talked about that earlier tonight on the live broadcast being just my favorite moment when you hear the dogs bark it and stop, like all that stuff. Red Wedding has that. When you hear the music play, when Catelyn Stark starts to realize something's amiss, the chainmail, all that stuff on Roose Bolton. But just each frame moves you towards this horrendous ending and good ending if you're like me and you like to see the High Sparrow explode. Anyways, but you know what I mean, Jared? We're just like, we didn't know what was coming.
Oh God, no. And it was so satisfying. Just the atmosphere dripping right from the start with the soft piano, and like I said, just Cersei's, you think she's just you look close at that dress. That is chainmail like with bits of armor on the shoulder. Like the girl's ready for battle that day. And that slow intercutting of the trial for Lawrence and everything else to break up and just
Lawrence Tyrell. Yeah.
Every time the music kicks back in, it's a little bit more. And then first off, shout out to the in-world kid who got that knife stick so perfect in the spine. Like I guarantee our boy Kymer just had a all right. Here's a little target. Everybody take a quick stab. See who gets the closest. You? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kid goes on appears in some other things as an actor. I think this is one of his first little roles. Yeah, talk about the death of Lancel Lannister. All these little things here. The death of Grand Maester Pycelle. I love, as always. I will never stop talking about how great Anton Lesser is as Qyburn, and him just kind of playing it perfectly in the corner, in the shadows, the slow look up with his eyes, and just. You're watching, and this is a character, Pycelle, just, watching Julian Glover play the character over 6 seasons was wonderful. I'm glad to have him. But, like, he deserves it, but then I'm on board with Qyburn kind of being like, I'm sorry, this isn't even you. You deserve better to die alone than dying alone here. That plays out so well.
I love his character for that, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and the kids, and it's kind of freaky because it's these little children of the corn kids almost just kind of following them around.
Right.
But yeah, I could go on and on and on, and we're transported into the moment so well, like you said with the music. But as Marjorie's our eyes to this world, because Cersei's up to something. When they're keeping the king there, when Tommen's not going to leave. What's happening. Also this has been. Wildfire's been mentioned, and there's the whispers to Qyburn, hey, is that stuff there? Yeah, that stuff is there. So you're kind of putting it all together with Marjorie. And that final look, her final moment, making eye contact with the sparrow, and just kind of knowing that Cersei has won.
Right.
Cersei has won. In the books, Cersei at times, I think they play up, you're not as smart as your dad. And that's in the show as well, and I think it's a key part of her character. But I do love that the show kind of says, yeah, but she knows how to play the game.
No, definitely. I just the sheer joy that Cersei puts on after the explosion too. I mentioned it last week when we previewed this episode, but the smile, just the cap off and everything, to just knowing that Lena Headey, man. Lena Headey.
I think she has many fine moments in the show, but this is one of her finer moments. And I've said this is a bad character. I consider her a villain. But the fact that they do such a good job, and Lena Headey just owns this role from the first frame in season 1 to this one to the end. And I'm one who understands the thematic importance of her death. I like her death, but that's a conversation for another day. But I think 6 years of performing this character lead to the most earned kind of empathy in the show. That wine sip, and I think look. I'll side note the High Sparrow storyline. I like it because it's maddening, but I know a lot of people didn't and don't like it. But it all kind of builds to this moment. So if you can get through 2 years or so of this guy barefoot, kind of do pompous and pious, it all pays off.
Yeah, no, like we've talked about throughout, like he is my most hated villain for many of religious trauma reasons, but that's what's great about the character. They wrote it so perfectly to just everything he does pisses you off, and it's supposed to with a smile. It's just you arrogant prick. All it would take is a king with a spine, and you'd be hanging from a noose.
Yeah. Yeah, and he has the moment. Marjorie reaches him. This is not right. Something's wrong. Cersei knows the consequences, and she's not here, which means she intends to not face the consequences. That conversation.
That's a great line.
It's a great line.
Saying it out loud too, and just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I think we're in a slight delay. Just like the Sparrow has Jonathan Pryce shutting him out. It's the moment where he could let everyone out. It's over, right? I still think some people might die because I think it still explodes. But he doesn't. He presses on, and on Rewatch, it's even more rewarding.
Oh yeah, he's completely convinced he's won already. Yeah, he's got everything he needs right there, and the fact that he got outsmarted It's
Yeah.
his downfall. It's his hubris of it. Is I've outsmarted these people.
Indeed. Addie asked in chat, do you think Cersei meant for Tommen to die as well? I don't think so. And her,
No.
you know, her life's mission in a lot of ways is her kids after a while, but she still seeks power. But I do think Tommen was in the way, but I you know, I think she meant to keep him there. And I think the death of Tommen is something she refuses to deal with. I think it's something that's going to be buried deep in her soul to the end. I think it is.
It was her
All right.
last connection to any humanity in her.
I believe that's to be true.
You know, she doesn't have the mental wherewithal anymore in her life after losing 2 kids and dad and everything else to even fathom that she did that to him. You know, it's just
indeed. Yeah, and we got also, before we wrap it up here, and there's so many other things in the episode, but I think I just want to we can run through some of the highlights. But he is an absolute rock star. But Ramin Djawadi's music, this is his finest work. It's as a piece that you can just listen to on its own. It's just so powerful and tells a story. And I do think this is his finest piece of work. And he has so many wonderful. I've seen him in concert twice. But I think this is something special.
Oh, definitely. He just this is the magnus opus for his Game of Thrones world right now, and the boy needs to get into more franchises. I need to hear him in Star Wars.
I was looking forward to it. I didn't want to assume that he would be connected to Benioff and Weiss's Star Wars work if they got to that point, but it just made some sense. But looking back, they might have gone another direction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like you said, just the quick
run through some of the
So
sorry,
we had.
Yep.
Oh yeah, gotta love delays. Up at Winterfell, our boy Davos.
Winterfell. You said Feld, and you're gonna get yelled at on the internet. Winterfell.
Yeah, that's okay. I can take it. Our boy Davos going right for Melisandre. Just, you know, I ask your leave to execute this woman. She admits to the crime, and just but the line back. It's you almost feel bad for her in the fact that, you know, I didn't lie, I was wrong. You killed her. So did her father. So did her mother. Oof.
I mean, as a Stannis fan, it hurts, but yes.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed.
In Marine, Dany makes a big girl decision to leave the boy toy behind and depart.
Love
and
that
oh yeah, and that beautiful I name you Hand of the Queen, Tyrion Lannister. You know,
right?
That was great.
We're set up.
And we are. And then I think the humor that was needed in this episode came down in the Water Gardens with Olenna Tyrell and the Sand Snakes.
Yeah.
Do you have anything? No? Good. Everybody shut up.
Yeah. Her talking to the young whippersnappers? No, absolutely love it. Yeah, and in terms of, setting us up for season 7, this episode does that quite well. But I think, you know, we just didn't know how this was going to end. And I always say that with in a positive way. But I remember when this episode ended, it was kind of like, yeah, Dany's going, and there's no way she could lose. And that, to me, looking back, is like, well, the fact that a lot of people thought that just should have given a lot of people pause. And I remember having a conversation around this time with my neighbor at my old apartment complex going into season 8. She was like, what do you think's going to happen to Dany? I was like, she's going to die. No, she's not. I was like, she's going to die. I'm sorry. I don't want that. She's my favorite, but they've been telling you that for a while. And I think this season.
See, I didn't believe it to the end, but we'll get there.
We'll get there indeed. All right. Season 6 has come to an end. And we are on to season 7. Only 7 episodes.
Yep. 13 total between the next 2 seasons.
All right.
Well, we flew through it. We started in season 4 or 5, something like that.
You picked it up from my old Rewatch series. So I appreciate you keeping that alive, buddy. We'll get to it. Thank you, my friend.
All right, everybody stay safe. Good talk.